car, a B dragster utilizing a Ford engine. Well, that's a Ford 6-cylinder for Joe Williamson. Here's Joe watching the lights. Williamson off with a head start. Can he hold off the dragster? A crowd favorite, that 6-cylinder roadster of Joe Williamson records an 8.87 second elapsed time. His speed 149 miles an hour as he defeated Wayne Clapp by about 2 car lengths at the finish line. Here in slow motion, you can see Clapp and the dragster trying to come from behind, but not enough horsepower. 8 seconds flat at 170 miles an hour, the losing time for Wayne Clapp.
Number 3, both tightening it up here in round number 2.
Joe Williamson advancing into the next round of competition eliminator. Don Carlton, a stretched wheelbase Dodge Colt, running as a B altered. The competition, a Chevy Camaro. This is the car of Dennis Ferrara from Comic, New York. It is a B Econo altered, utilizing 1 4-barrel carburetor on the Chevy engine, 2 big 4-barrels on the Dodge Hemi for Don Carlton. A close race. Let's see if Carlton can come from behind. And he does it, just pulling it out at the finish line. Don Carlton, 8.46 seconds. His speed, 158 miles an hour. And that's a gasoline-burning, full-fendered car, the B-altered Dodge Colt of Don Carlton. In slow motion, you can see Carlton just ever so slightly starting to pull up on Dennis Ferrara. As they enter the speed traps, they're about even, and just about a wheel length lead for Don Carlton at the finish. Dennis Ferrara's losing time, a 9:59 at 141 miles an hour. This will be a heads-up start. 2 C Econo dragsters. Jim Jones from Indianapolis, Indiana. The front engine car is Jim Head. Both cars utilizing small block Chevrolet engines, very similar in engine design, different though in chassis design. Rear engine car seen here is Jim Jones out of Indianapolis. And a red light start for Jim Head, a tough break for the Sunbury, Ohio-based driver, as his head start paid off at the finish line, but he lost the race at the starting line.
At 145 miles per hour.
We'll take a look again, and you can see Jim Head leaving the starting line first and getting the red light. A good leave for Jim Jones, a red light for Head. With a history dating back 25 years to the very start of organized drag racing, Modified Eliminator presents some of the best action on any drag strip. Steve takes a look at some of the cars.
In the exciting world of NHRA sportsman racing, the Modified Eliminator category is just that. Highly modified street-type cars, 31 classes in all. They race on the handicap system based on the national class standard. It makes for rugged competition. This beautiful late model muscle car is typical of the types of machinery found in the upper gas classes. You're allowed to use any motor in any type body. You'll see Ford engines in Chevrolets and vice versa. While this Corvette and other street-type hot rods from the late 50s, early middle 60s are in modified production classes. They must use the original type engine in the stock location, but they can modify it without limitation. Modified Eliminator can get downright exotic. Witness the 76 Porsche Carrera. Hard to believe that a 4-cylinder Volkswagen engine will push it to speeds over 120 miles an hour in 11 seconds. Now that we've seen some of the Modified Eliminator cars, let's meet some of the drivers.
My name's Jerry Alt. I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
Today's heavily partisan Ohio crowd feels that Jerry Alt's runner-up finish at the U.S. Nationals in '76 is a barometer of things to come.
Sam Giannino, Royal Oak, Michigan.
It's been a long dry spell for Sam since the '68 Indy Nationals. 21 NHRA national records and still not another major event victory.
My name's Larry Nelson. I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
A runner-up finish at this year's Sports Nationals was the first bright spot since '72 when Larry won the Summer Nationals and was runner-up at the World Finals.
Thank you, Steve. Picking up the action in the quarterfinals of Modified Eliminator. The big block Chevy Camaro of Richard Oakes, all the way from Runnymede, New Jersey, has the dubious distinction of facing the defending champion in modified eliminator here at the Spring Nationals, Wally Jacobson from Elk Grove, Illinois. Jacobson driving the small 71 Chevy Vega up against his 438 cubic inch big block Chevy Camaro, Richard Oakes, against Wally Jacobson. Again, still in handicap eliminator racing. One car physically getting the head start over the second. Let's watch. Wally Jacobson with a head start. And something going away in Richard Oakes' car, either missing a gear or a drivetrain component breaking. And Wally Jacobson wins another round, 9.79 seconds. His speed, 139 miles an hour. The exotic modified compact of Buddy Ingersoll. Ingersoll's Pinto, powered by a turbocharged engine. His competition from Minerva, Ohio, is Mike McGrew. McGrew's 73 Camaro has a small block Chevrolet, 278 cubic inches, highly stressed, high horsepower, high winding engines in this modified eliminator category. McGrew redlighting away his chance to the modified eliminator favorite, Buddy Ingersoll. McGrew continues through, but he's done for the day. A tough break as he left the starting line too early, and as Steve pointed out to you, when you get the red light, you'll lose automatically. Buddy Ingersoll, your winner, just coasting it through at 83 miles an hour. Two Chevrolet Monzas. This is Sam Giannino from Royal Oak, Michigan. His competition comes from Havertown, Pennsylvania, and it is Robert Thompson at the wheel of the second Monza on the starting line here at the Spring Nationals. These are two gas coupe sedan cars. Giannino is the higher class, so Robert Thompson will get ever so slightly a head start over Sam Giannino. Thompson got the head start, but it was too much as he also with a red light, putting Giannino into the next round. These cars with a lot of weight on the rear axles and the big tires pulling the front wheels off the ground practically on every shift as they head down the quarter mile. Here's the start once again as Thompson in the far lane, red lighting away his chance to Sam Giannino. Giannino the winner at over 151 miles an hour. Paul McCure driving the Chevy Corvette, making a bye run at 1491. Every car in competition must make the same number of runs. Drag racing dating back to the late 1940s and early 50s has some competitors with over 20 years experience. Steve talks with one of them.
This turbocharged Ford Pinto is one of the most unusual and most popular cars in modified eliminator here at the Spring Nationals. It's driven, it was built by a 27-year veteran of the sport in the sportsman categories all those years, Ohio George Montgomery. George, when you look back to the early days, what really stands out in your mind?
Well, there's so many things over those years that it's hard to pick the highlights, but I'd say probably some of the highlights would be the wins at the Indy Nationals. I've won them there 4 times, and those got to be the highlights of my drag racing career.
George, if you think back to the early days of the sport and then you look around here at Columbus, Ohio, there's some real differences. What stands out in your mind about the early days?
Well, in the early days, I remember we had a flagman starter. You watched him. He was allowed 2 false starts. It was just very primitive parts of drag racing. Today, you have the Christmas tree where there is no false starts. There is no second time.
Did it ever occur to Ohio George Montgomery that he'd be a star in a big sport, an important sport back in those early days? Did you have any idea this had happened?
No, I didn't. I was just a part of the infancy of the sport, and I guess I was just a small little part of it, and it just kind of growed around me, and I've growed with it.
What keeps you going? What keeps you enthused? You're still racing after all these years and all those cars?
It's been a good life to me. I've known nothing else. This is what I've done all my life. The thing is, today it's very competitive and very costly. But I'd say it's been a good life to me. That's all I know.
As the drivers get ready for round number 2 in Pro Comp Eliminator, let's go down to trackside and Steve Evans.
Dave, it's interesting to note going into round 2 of Pro Comp that no particular type of car seems to have an advantage. We have 3 dragsters left, 4 funny cars, and the 1 AA altered remains in competition. Now that our number 1 qualifier was eliminated on the hole shot, that being Tom Ridings of California, the crowd seems to be going with the unusual AA altered of Ron Boggs, and he's the quickest car in the field now going into round 2.
And this is the AA altered of Ron Boggs from Columbus, Ohio. A Model T roadster body, highly modified, a Donovan engine, supercharged, running methanol for fuel, making up this handful known as a AA altered in Pro Comp Eliminator here at the Spring Nationals. Boggs' competition comes from London, Ontario, Canada, the Double B funny car of Frank Hawley and the Hawley family. Here in slow motion, we can watch Ron Boggs as he has to drive this car to keep it straight as the rear tires are spinning, getting them hot, getting ready for his pass down the quarter mile. The funny car of Frank Hawley, powered by a 500 cubic inch engine, also supercharged, also burning methanol. A Keith Black racing engine in the funny car. A tremendous race. Hawley drifting close to the center. And at the finish line by inches, it's Ron Boggs in the altered, moving one more step closer to this championship here at the Spring Nationals. Boggs is elapsed time 6:88, and here you see in slow motion stop action, it is literally a matter of inches as electronically the winner picker says Ron Boggs there first. The next pair, funny car versus dragster, Dale Armstrong against Dick Titsworth, and a red light for Armstrong. Titsworth, the funny car, moves ahead in eliminations, 6.84 seconds, 202 miles an hour, and a dejected Dale Armstrong through for the day in competition in Pro Comp Eliminator. The old bugaboo of a red light left at the starting line. This is Dale Hall, the only front-engine dragster left in Pro Comp Eliminator, powered by a small block Chevrolet, also supercharged and running on alcohol. The competition, the rear-engine dragster of Butch Osmond. Hall there first, 6.88 seconds, his speed over 201 miles an hour, with a little Chevrolet engine in that front-engine dragster. A pair of Corvettes. Don Gerardo, former world champion from Monroeville, Indiana. Simon Menzies, hailing out of Torrance, California. The Corvette owned by Jim Jackson. Both cars leaving the line together. And something going wrong with Gerardo's car as Menzies takes the win, 6.93 seconds. His speed over 196 miles an hour. A champion in any sport, professional football, baseball, drag racing, he's a champion only as long as he outperforms his fellow competitors. One of drag racing's greatest champions, Gary Beck, two-time national champ, former world champion, has had his share of problems for what seems to be an eternity. Steve asked Gary, why the slump?
Well, in the constant quest to go quicker, you try and experiment using different engine, clutch, tire, gear ratio ideas. And in the meantime, while you're planning on going faster than 5.6, you forget how to go 5.6. So you got to kind of start all over. You got to go back to school again, and you got to teach yourself how to race again and cut back. It's the trouble we've had in the last few months is I can't put it on one thing. It's been numerous things, but it appears that it's slowly working its way back out.
People always ask, why doesn't he just go back to the same combination? Say, won this race in 74, ran 5 seconds, 2:47. Why don't you?
Well, it's awful hard to do that. We, from 74 to now, the tires are completely different. The tracks are better. We have concrete starting line this time. This is my third car from there. This car has better traction built into it. So we have to automatically build more horsepower. That's not that easy to do.
Gary, all of your many fans, especially, of course, the Canadians, and myself for that matter, after this race, we want to read somewhere, Beck is back. Is there a good chance of that?
Well, certainly, the SCAR's always been a team effort, and everybody tries real hard. Our sponsors, the crew people.